All right, so as per the charter, we get an annual State of the Schools address from the chair of the school department, who has graciously agreed to join us this evening. If Chairwoman Morrione would be willing to come up. Where you want this in terms of height? Too high? What kind of glasses do you need?
Good afternoon, Mayor Strimling, city councilors, educators, and members of the public. As chair of the Portland Board of Public Education, I'm pleased to present to you our annual State of the Schools as required by Portland's charter. Before I begin, I'd like to recognize my colleagues that are here today from the board. Ms. Thompson is here, Mr. Ali, Laurie Davis, Ms. Trevorrow, and those that aren't with us tonight did want to be here, but I want to thank them for all of their support and leadership. We also have student representatives that I don't see, I apologize, I don't see any in the audience tonight, but there are Ludia Abdallah, who represents Portland High School, Kevin Siegel, who represents Paths, Matt Suslovic, who represents Casco Bay High School, and Blaze Vale, who represents Deering High School. I want to also send my appreciation to them and all their hard work this past year. I'd also like to recognize our new superintendent, Mr. Javier Botana, along with all the other hardworking members of the Portland Public Schools team that are here today. Thank you. To begin, I first want to recount to you, I recently had an interaction with a new parent to Portland Public Schools and a new parent to our city. The mother was sitting in the Portland Public Schools central office with her 3 children. She had one in her lap, one standing beside her, and another one that was fidgeting quite a lot in a chair beside her. As I walked in central office, I smiled at the mother and the children, and before darting off to my next meeting, I paused and said, "How are you today?" And the oldest one said enthusiastically, "We're getting ready." And I thought, wow, getting ready? So I said, "Well, what are you getting ready for?" And he said, "I'm getting ready for school." And I glanced at the mother, and he was so excited, and I thought, wow, this is really not only, since that conversation and the little boy's enthusiasm, it has stuck with me. I wanted to share it with you today because I think this is one of the many reasons that I serve on the board and have served for the past 8 years. And seeing the hope and excitement in this boy's eyes, I can honestly say that it captures the importance of our work. We're working together to meet the needs of students, but also to make a lasting and positive difference for each child, every family, and our entire community. This is the work that we cannot afford to take lightly, and we can play an integral part. So today, I'll be highlighting for you our school district's accomplishments over the past year and what we need to do to ensure that we move forward and are able to continue to offer high-quality education to all of Portland Public School students. The students of our city are our future. At your seats, you'll find handouts with current district facts and data. Portland Public Schools is Maine's largest and most diverse school district. We serve close to 6,800 students from pre-K through 12th grade. More than half of our students, 55%, receive free or reduced lunch. Currently, nearly 2,300 students, which is 33% of our enrollment, 33% of our enrollment come from homes where English is not their first language. We have a total of 60 languages in our district. And according to our latest data, we have 113 students that are enrolled in pre-kindergarten. This is an increase of nearly 35% since our program first started in 2011. Research shows that students who experience quality pre-K education perform better academically and go on to attend college at a greater rate, so this is truly an investment in our students' future. Also, through Portland Adult Education, we served more than 4,000 adults last year in academics and English language learner classes, as well as enrichment and job skill classes. Last fall, Portland Adult Education won an Education at Work for Maine award from the Finance Authority of Maine for its work fostering self-sufficiency through education for adults in our community, including our immigrants and refugee families. Our adult education program is a valuable resource for parents of our students and other community members trying to better their lives and the lives of their children. It's important to understand that Portland Public Schools programs have a direct impact on the lives of approximately 1 out of 6 Portlanders. Our district employs more than 1,200 talented and dedicated staff. We appreciate all of their hard work and their dedication each and every day. One of our newest employees, as I mentioned, Mr. Javier Botana, Superintendent Javier Botana, who was hired earlier this year after conducting a nationwide search for the best person to lead Portland Public Schools. We had more than 40 applicants, and after an extensive interview process that included community meetings and visits to his district, we chose Mr. Botana based on his experience, his credentials, and the transformative work he accomplished in a district very similar to our own. He's been with us since July 1st, and we're already very pleased with his leadership. In the public forums we held during our superintendent search, the community said how much they value the diversity of our city and our schools. Mr. Botana adds to that diversity. He immigrated to the United States from Cuba as a child, and growing up bilingual in Spanish, he began his educational career as an English as a second language teacher and worked his way up to leadership roles centered on instructional strategy, curriculum alignment, and professional development. During our superintendent search, our community was also stressed that they would like to see continuity in our leadership of the district. Mr. Botana is committed to making Maine his home. He plans to create a pipeline of experienced leaders who can quickly assume key roles when vacancies occur. Continuity is also very important to our board as well, where we have almost half of its members have served 6 or more years. In your handouts, you will find a mid-October snapshot of our data from our district assessment, the Northwest Evaluation Association, or we like to refer to it as the NWEA. It's a national assessment that provides a measurement of each student's academic growth. Please note that we have not yet received our 2015 state test data, so our complete annual district scorecard will not be ready for a few more months. The snapshot shows we have strong accomplishments and points us to areas where we need to invest strategically to improve student outcomes. Our reading progress has been steady over the past 4 years in grades 3, 5, and 8, and these improvements are powered by significant gains from our African American and Black and economically disadvantaged students, and by some important gains by our English language learners in the lower grades. In mathematics, we have made significant strides over the past 4 years in grades 3 and 8 already, but although our 5th grade performance is largely unchanged. In 3rd and 8th grade, again, we've seen impressive gains by our African American students, Black and economically disadvantaged, and our English language learners. Looking at our high school students, this past year, 32% of our 11th and 12th grade students enrolled in advanced placement courses. Also, 58% of those students scored a 3 or better on their AP exams. In addition, 17% of our 11th graders participated in dual enrollment college coursework in 2015-16, which is compared to 5% the year prior. Dual enrollment is a great opportunity for our students to obtain college credit at a significant savings for students and their families. The Portland Public Schools is now engaged in the exciting work of preparing our current 8th graders to receive proficiency-based diplomas when they graduate from high school in 2021. Our graduation rate for the 2015 cohort, which is our latest data available at this point, is 84%. That's a substantial increase over the 79% rate that has been in the past few years. The latest amendment to the state's proficiency-based diploma law requires that graduating seniors meet proficiency standards in language arts, math, science, and social studies by 2021. Portland's new proficiency-based graduation policy includes provisions that outline educational experiences available to students as they work toward proficiency in 8 content areas and Maine's guiding principles, which are early college dual enrollment, career and technical education, online virtual learning, apprenticeships, internships, fieldwork, community service, and independent study. Portland is an amazing city with a strong commitment to improving outcomes for students and a clear understanding that we are better when we work together on these things. We are aided in our efforts to improve our graduation rates and student achievement with various partnerships. I will highlight a few of those many organizations that we work with to achieve those results. Our partnership with Jobs for Maine's Graduate, JMG, the Nellie Mae Education Foundation, and Great Schools Partnership have boosted the success of the implementation of broader-based learning opportunities for our students this past year. Portland Connect Ed, a cross-sector partnership, works with our district to improve educational and economic outcomes of Portland children, their families, and students. Our flourishing partnership with the University of Southern Maine not only provides the dual enrollment opportunities, but also includes a summer bridge program, which helps ensure the success of high school graduates enrolling at USM each fall. And this program offers students summertime opportunities to experience and explore college life and become familiar with USM's campuses and services. Southern Maine Community College's My Success program also benefits our high school graduates. It provides them with intensive 3-week summer success program, scholarship incentives, and a dedicated success coach who will work with them year-round to ensure their success at SMCC. Also, the Portland Education Foundation, PEF, is an independent nonprofit that aligned with the Portland Public Schools through a school board policy and a memorandum of understanding. PEF's mission is to raise philanthropic support to enhance educational opportunities for present and future students in Portland Public Schools. PEF also provides grants to our teachers to encourage academic innovation, creativity, and excellence. Teacher grant funding for this year and last year is expected to total close to $75,000. Finally, our students benefit from Culture Club Portland, which is a collaboration between the Portland Education Foundation, the Portland Public Schools, the Portland Museum of Art, Portland Stage, Portland Ovations, and the Portland Symphony Orchestra. The goal of that program is to enable each of our students to attend programs at each of the 4 participating arts institutions each year. This summer, we learned that an anonymous donor pledged full funding of this program and partial for the next 2 years. Total investment in support of the Culture Club Portland since it began 4 years ago has been over $1 million. To improve student achievement and meet students' needs, Portland Public Schools offers unique learning opportunities and experiences. All of our schools have these exciting programs, but I'm going to highlight a few for you today that have grown in this past year. Due to growing demand, students now have access to experiential learning opportunities from elementary school through high school, with Casco Bay High School, King Middle School, and Przomskot Elementary School. Each of these schools is part of the EL Education Network, formerly called the Expeditionary Learning Network. Casco Bay's principal, Derek Pierce, was selected this spring by the Maine Principals Association as Maine's Principal of the Year for 2016 for his, quote, "to inspire all those around him to meet the learning needs of every student every day." Portland Public Schools also stands out for ways that it's preparing its students to be successful in our increasingly interconnected world. Ocean Avenue Elementary School was recently named as an authorized International Baccalaureate IB World School in the primary years program. The International Baccalaureate organization is a nonprofit education organization that supports learning models for students focused on rigorous intellectual inquiry, personal growth, and helping students become internationally minded. Ocean Avenue is the first and the only elementary school in Maine to earn this distinction. It's also one of the handful of schools in northern New England to attain this goal. Learning other languages is an increasingly vital necessity in our globalized world. Portland Schools stands out when it comes to our world language programs, which we work to grow each year. All of our students begin our foreign language program in 3rd grade. 3 years ago, we started a Spanish immersion program at Lyseth Elementary School, in which students do all of their learning in Spanish. The program, the first of its kind in Maine, was recently featured on Maine Public Television. The program now runs from kindergarten through 2nd grade, and we plan to continue its growth through the elementary grades. Another example this past year, through our partnership with the University of Southern Maine, is the Maine's Confucius Institute. Portland Public Schools was named a Confucius classroom. And as a result, the district expanded its Mandarin Chinese classes at Deering and Casco Bay High School. Also Deering High School, the only international studies school network high school in New England, has been offering Arabic classes, the program, since 2013. In addition, with our partnerships, we have a partnership with the Council for International Educational Exchange, CIEE, which is headquartered here in Portland. 4 of our students received full scholarship for study abroad in Spain, the Dominican Republic, and Japan. Approximately 20 students traveled abroad last summer to study languages and learn more about other cultures. In addition, Portland Public Schools grew its education regarding various career options. Portland High School stands out for its Pathways program, which affords students the opportunity for job shadows and internships to prepare them to make choices about their own future. A growing network of community partners, developed and coordinated by the Jobs for Maine's graduates, provides students with expanded learning opportunities to explore career pathways. Last year, 200 freshmen practiced interviews and reviewed resumes with local business professionals. Almost the same number of sophomores job shadowed at local businesses and community organizations. More than 25 juniors and seniors held internships last year. Also at Portland Arts and Technology High School, PATHS, approximately 200 students from Portland and surrounding communities each year earn certifications of completion, and in some cases, national certifications, in areas such as automotive technology, carpentry, plumbing, heating, commercial art, culinary concepts, early childhood, fashion marketing, health science occupations, manufacturing technology, marine systems, and new media. These are just a few of the examples that add to the quality of education in Portland and the growing opportunities for our students. Portland Public Schools works to provide a safe and inclusive school learning environment for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender youth and employees. The district is very proud to have won Equality Maine's Partner for Equality Award last spring. The Portland Public Schools also recognizes that we can't educate our children alone. Family engagement is essential. That is why this past year we focused on strengthening our relationship with families. We did our annual parent survey, and as you can see in your handout, the results from 2015-16 school year are very positive. In February, the school board established the Public Affairs Committee to give additional opportunity for engagement between the community and the board. To date, the committee has held 3 well-attended community forums and received valuable feedback. We continue to hold these forums each quarter and encourage all to attend. The district also has been working with Portland Empowered over the past 2 years, and as a result of that work, the school board in August created a parent partnership policy ad hoc committee, and this new committee is charged with reviewing and revising our district's current parent involvement policy and recommending a new parent partnership policy to the board by November 30th of this year. Thanks to the City Council and Portland voters, our $103.6 million FY 2017 school budget was approved in May. The budget was crafted, put students first, values our employees, and respects taxpayers. That was not an easy task because this school budget contained about $1.4 million less in state education aid than the district had received in previous school years. We're most grateful to the Portland taxpayers, their continued support of our budget, and they should know that the district has been good stewards of its resources over the past year, which has resulted in a modest fund balance. Now, in anticipation for next year's budget, the school board has voted unanimously to endorse Stand Up for Students, a citizens' initiative on the state ballot in November that would generate an estimated $157 million more in state education funding. Maine's current education funding forces local communities like ours to shoulder most of the costs of maintaining Maine schools, often through increases in local property taxes and cuts to our programs and services. But in recent years, more than $12 million in state funding has been curtailed or offset to Portland Public Schools. Out of our $103.6 million budget, the state contributed only $15.2 million, less than 15% of our overall budget. If question 2 passes on November 8th, Portland stands to receive approximately $11 million in additional state aid that is desperately needed. Looking towards our upcoming year and beyond, we're currently in the process of updating our comprehensive plan, which will be a roadmap that aligns our district's work with our vision and mission. The process includes school leaders and staff, as well as the community. The district's vision and missions is included in your handout. It will remain unchanged for the comprehensive plan, and we'll be updating the goals and how we measure and how to report our progress. The plan will also serve as the basis for Superintendent Botana's accountability to the board. We will have a final plan in place by the end of this year. In addition, we're also thankful to the Portland voters for approving a referendum this past April authorizing the construction of a new Hall Elementary School on its existing school site. The total cost of the project will be $29.7 million, but local taxpayers will only be responsible for $1.4 million of that bonded amount. The goal is to start construction next June and to have students in the new school by fall of 2018. However, Hall was just one of 5 of the aging elementary schools that were identified in our Buildings for Our Future initiative in 2012. The initiative established that those schools needed to be upgraded to ensure all Portland elementary schools attend school in a facility that supports academic excellence and safety needed for 21st century learning. The other 4 schools, Longfellow, Reike, Presumpscot, and Lyseth, are already being worked on with the other 4 schools are Longfellow, Reike, Presumpscot, and Lyseth. We're grateful to Mayor Strimling, our city councilor, our city manager, for your collaboration with the for your collaboration with the school board in this effort. This summer, we sent you a $70.6 million bond proposal to pay for the renovations of these schools. And your vote created the Schools Facilities Ad Hoc Committee to study the bond proposal. Thus far, the committees toured each school and gathered critical information. And from those tours, we learned that our buildings are well-maintained, but are antiquated. And we're in the process of scrutinizing those costs and the financial impact of a bond to pay for these schools. The committee plans to send a recommendation to the school board in November, which will then go to the city council. We look forward in the months ahead to continuing our work with the council on these infrastructure needs, and these improvements will have lasting effects on our children's education. Academically great and safe neighborhood schools will also attract families and improve our local economy, making Portland an even better city. In conclusion, as we reflect on the present and look forward to the future, we must remember that all of our children and adult learners deserve the best that we can offer. Let's continue our work together. Our students, both children and adults, are relying on us. They need our support. As I was reminded, when I met the young boy at central office, let's share in that excitement. For all of our learners, whether they're starting kindergarten, receiving their high school diplomas, or celebrating their new mechanic certification, we are not only elected officials, but we're also the stewards of our students' education, hopes, and futures. Let's maintain their enthusiasm, and let's develop lifelong learners. Their success means that we all succeed. Thank you, and good night.